kita nak ambil ke depan dia, kalau kita buat terus untuk satu saat, yang depan dia beberapa saat depan tak dapat.
It's tough because our customers are very wealthy, very demanding, very individual, and of course they are very, very successful. And they want the best, they want the highest standard, as with everything else that they do in their lives. So amazingly demanding customers, but we do love them, they're great. And today we introduce the car to match their expectations. We've been waiting for this car for a long, long time. We launched the 740, as you know, some time ago, and this car is a car that we can bring that matches the customer expectations in terms of a package. So it complements the rust. The way that we specify this car is specifically designed for the Malaysian chauffeur drive requirements. Not for the chauffeur, we're not worried about him too much, but for the owner of the car, this is going to be a pleasure to be in the back seat and be driven around. So in line with our efficient dynamics philosophy, the 730 has everything that we offer in the today's launch of the 730 coincides with the launch of another car, the 760 Ally. We don't have that here today, but we're also launching the 760 Ally. Well, that's an amazing car. That starts at a lazy 1.38 million. Is going into the market at 648,800. So for the car that we have been selling, the 740 Li at 848,000, we're now bringing into the market this car. That's why we're so pleased to have it here. It's a full 200,000 less than 640. We also offer our BMW BSRI, our 3-year warranty package as well, which is very, very strong. And of course we have our BMW Credit and Insurance Organisation. And that's providing over half of the buyers of BMWs in Malaysia with finance and insurance. So please join us and welcome the need for this car. We welcome today the 730 Li, and Darren is going to tell you a whole lot more about the product side of it. And so Darren, over to you, and tell us all about this great car. Thank you.
But the 7 Series only surfaced in 1977, which is a good 25 years ago already. Each 7 Series has always stood for technological innovations and groundbreaking advancements in the car industry. For example, in 1977, the E23, which was the first 7 Series, was the first car to feature an electronic cruise control system that you find in so many cars today. In 1986, the E32. And in 2001, we had the E65, E66, the famous or infamous, depending on how you look at it, Chris Bangle designed 7 Series. It was the first car. So natural presence comes out in front of the car. If you take a look over here, where we have the imposing kidney grills in front. This gives the car a lot of presence, as well as the typical 4-round corona ring headlamps from BMW. Gives the car a sense of aggressiveness. So trust me when I say that no other car will command as much presence holding the lobby of a hotel than this BMW 7 Series. And you can not only play DVDs with this screen, you can also use it to plug in your laptop, to plug in your digital camera to view your photos, your iPod or your MP3 player, even a PlayStation or Xbox game console, you can plug it into this car. The side panels, the door panels, and even the roof is made entirely out of aluminum. This reduces the weight of the car. That means it gives you fuel savings, it reduces fuel consumption at the same time. And not only that, it also lowers the center of gravity of the car, giving you better handling characteristics. So less consumption, more driving pleasure. This 730 Li in front of you also comes with brake energy regeneration. Now, normal cars use the draws engine power to run the alternator in order to charge the batteries. Whereas this 730 Li uses kinetic energy from the wheels to charge the batteries to run the electrics in the car, such as your air conditioning system, your lights, as well as your hi-fi systems. So reducing the power draw from the engine, more power is available for acceleration, more driving pleasure, and saving you fuel at the same time, less consumption. Now, what about the way the car drives? It has dynamic driving control, which is basically a chassis control system. Sedan, or can drive like a comfort cruiser, and just a flick of a switch. Now how it works is, there's a switch located beside the gear lever. Take a look at it later. You can flip the car into comfort mode when you're being chauffeur driven. Or for the weekend, when you get behind the wheel yourself, you just fit the car into sports mode to give you a sports sedan kind of drive. Yeah. What it does is it actually alters not just the suspension settings, the characteristics of the suspension, it also alters the steering feedback, the response, the accelerator response, as well as the transmission shift points. To give you a totally different handling characteristic. So you can switch as many cars in one.
The price difference between the 740 Li and the 730 is 200,000. And can you justify what's the difference in the two, other than the fact that one is turbocharged and the other one isn't, and it's the same 3-liter engine?
I think the main reason for the difference is specification, and one is a CBU and one we're building in plant Thailand as well. So that's the main difference. So we're taking full advantage of all of the government taxes, which are way too high for Malaysians. So this is the sort of thing that you have to do to get a car in the market at the right price and competitive. So a CBU based on the 740 with all the government taxes and surcharges and those benefits is why we're at 848.
So why don't you build a 740 Li in Thailand too?
That's a good question. Yeah. Well, we can do that, but we just can't get quite the savings that we can on the 730. The other thing about this car is that we specified in a particular way. We designed it for the Malaysian chauffeur drive market, so it has a strong competitive edge as well. The 740 is a higher spec and it's a different engine as well. So you know, there's a lot of fundamental difference between. It's a much higher spec car and it's a step up and more expensive.
What do you mean by design for Malaysian?
Okay, well, the main thing for us is it's obviously a chauffeur drive market. And where we have a really strong advantage is that we were determined to have all of the rear entertainment system for the passenger, the owner of the car. And this car is a dream to be in. I spend a bit of time in the back, and I also spend a bit of time in the front of the car. So I do both. I drive it and I'm a passenger as well. And we set about getting this car right for the chauffeur drive. Not many people drive their own cars, you know, so this is a perfect package, and we have a competitive edge in that area.
Ready?
By introducing a car at the lower end of the range and the higher end of the range, how much of a customer base do you think you are expanding yourselves on?
Well, the higher end of the range is you know, we don't expect to sell too many cars at 1.3 to 8 million. It's a very specialist car, and you know, customers actually we made a decision to bring the car in because we had a group of customers who said, I want that car.
How many have you?
We've done about 3 there, right? 3?
I can't tell you the
Yeah,
names.
but
Yeah. We'll have to shoot them if we tell you their names. But, you know. So we're doing it based on customer demand, and we weren't going to bring the car in because it's such a low volume car. Because it's price related, of course, and it's a full CBU with all the taxes and charges on it. But 3 customers really wanted that car because it's such a top-end car. On the other hand, the 730 is truly is our base. It's why we've been waiting so long for that car, because it will probably constitute about 90% of our sales. And the 730 was, what, 95, 98% of our sales in the last model. So it's the 730 that the public, that our buyers want. And that's what they're asking for, and they've been waiting and waiting and waiting, so have we, and now finally the car is here. And it will form the bulk of our 7 Series sales.
Next question. Chips.
Chips.
So what about the sales of your diesel version? How do you see that panning out now that you offer this particular variant, which you say is more popular?
Well, we created a lovely situation.